Good morning, Thursday chair yoga class. It's Julie. And this is pre-recorded because I'm on the plane this morning on the way to Houston. So it's actually right now 6:10 in the morning on Saturday morning. Got up to do this for you so that Denise can get it into this week's schedule. So we will all be using two chairs. We're going to be standing part of the time. And so don't let that bring fear into you. We will be sitting also throughout part of the practice, but I want to do something with our posture in that totally upright position with the support of two chairs. Okay, so if you'll get the two chairs, and I've got mine, as you can see, in this position. All right, and we're going to stand right in the middle of there. Also, have your blocks ready, have straps ready, and we'll begin as soon as you guys get situated, okay? So thank you, and my following today's class for the next week and a half or so, you'll be seeing me and my daughters with sharing classes with you. So anyways, sorry to not be here with you live, but thank you for being here on this recorded version of the class. So we'll go ahead and get started. Inky and Wango are here to help us as needed. Yeah, so Inky, go right down. Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and begin in what we call Tadasana, and we've talked about this before in our class. And Tadasana is our mountain pose. And when we sit in the chair, we have everything lined up, right? From our feet running parallel to one another, which they should be right now. And let's just stay on our feet for just a bit. And the same thing as if we're seated in the chair. You're going to be situated on all four corners of your feet, or if it's easier to think of just the two front corners of each foot, right behind the big toe and the little toe, okay? And then the four corners of the heel is a little bit difficult to kind of comprehend because it's like, oh, there's not really corners, it just kind of rounds back there. Then just think of planting down into that bone, into that heel bone, okay? And just to kind of test how you are with that, you can lift your toes up and noticing how much toes really assist us in our balance, right? So I've got the chairs here. Please feel free to use them, we will be. But I'm just looking down at my toes, pulling up. And this is also just a good exercise for stretching out the tendons in our feet, all right? And working the bones and all the complexity of the feet that we, I know I often take for granted. I'm going to go ahead and start to put my toes down. I'm just going to look down, and they look like they are flat on the ground. I can feel all my toes there. From this position upward, I'm going to make sure I've got that nice connection. I'm going to take that energy up my legs. My feet are about hips distance, and that's going to be different for each one of us, all right? And if that hip distance for you might be a little bit more than hip distance, just so you feel you're really grounded and balanced, please do that, okay? And then we're going to take that energy up our legs. But here in our kneecaps, and this is where it changes from being in the chair we're seated, and the knees are above the ankles, which they are standing as well. And then we sit, and then we take the femurs and we run those more in a parallel position rather than perpendicular from the ground as they're on the back of the chair. But here we're going to continue that energy flow upward into our hips. But again, back here in the knees, keep a little bit of bend and then engage in your muscles around there, okay? And I don't mean engage by pushing back into your knees. I want you to have that little bit of flexion, and I want you then to take energy into your kneecaps, okay? And then we draw that energy up right into here to our pelvic area, this really pretty complex area of our body. And then from there, we continue lifting up. So feel a pull right here, just like the zipper of my jacket, okay? Pulling us up into our clavicle area, but don't pull up into the shoulders. Let those come down. We will spend some time working into the shoulders, but right now let's let them be relaxed. Let your hands just be down along your sides, your fingers just kind of dripping down there, okay? Don't need to put a lot of energy in your fingers right now. Don't need to turn them towards me or away from me, anything like that at this point, okay? Right now, just have them there and focusing on all that lengthening, all the connection, right? Bone on bone, so that we really are working with gravity here, okay? And then we open up through our heart space by, again, having those shoulders down and pull back a little bit on those shoulder blades. And I know all these are really details, right? But I just think that's important because the more we focus on our bodies in our practice and those minute details, the more we can take that out into our daily movements and start to really analyze a bit more, get a little more introspective about how our bodies are moving through space. So shoulders down, chest lifts a bit, right? And I want to lift that chest a bit without arcing into my lumbar spine, my lower spine. So I'm still keeping my spine nice and straight. My head is on straight. And for me, that sometimes means my head is pulling forward. So I'm really going to pull my head back. I'm going to keep my chin so that it's parallel to the ground instead of in this position. Okay, and as I do that, I imagine from my ears, long dangling earrings that are going to fall right here on this muscle tissue that's covering up at the shoulder and right above the clavicle here. It's that trapezius muscle, that thick muscle. So to pull my head back a little bit. And then I look forward in that drishti gaze that both Denise and I talk about. And that is that gaze that's going to keep you focused, okay? Now my gaze, I'm gonna come back down a little bit to the camera, and yours might be also, but just so you know, to get the best out of balancing, to get the best out of your complete alignment, is to have that gaze forward, all right? Not angled down or angled up, although we'll be taking it that way through the class. All right, make sure those knees have some flex in them, right? So that we don't end up getting tired in our position here, okay? And then go ahead in this Tadasana, this mountain pose, and give your eyes a close. If you feel like you're going to come off balance, take your hands onto those chairs and to your side, okay? Don't want anybody having a feeling that they're not comfortable here. We all should be pretty comfortable standing. Again, hands can be on the top of your chairs as you close your eyes. And maybe taking one hand away from the chair, if you have either hand there, take it to your belly. And I want you to expand that belly outward on your breath. Feel it come out towards me. Feel it come back in towards you. Still keeping alignment in our bodies here. Eyes can again be closed or open. You're more comfortable with that. Now place that hand either back down or on the chair. Take the other hand to your ribs and let's feel that air pull out and in on that rib cage as you expand into belly and rib area. Two more breaths here. And then you can take that hand back down or to the chair, and then the other hand comes up to your chest. If you have another free hand, you can take it to the belly, okay? Otherwise, one hand stays, keeping you balanced. And then let's take that breath all the way up in from the belly, ribs, and into the chest. Notice how in this Tadasana, this very open space that we've created, we really have no impingement in our breath, no challenges here, other than just to take those breaths nice and deep into the belly. And when we're seated in Tadasana, we're still real open, but when we have ourselves bent at the knees, there might be a little bit of constriction in that lower belly from total expansion. 2 more big breaths here. I know we're starting off rather slow and in minute details, but we'll be changing things up here now. Good. And then take your hands to the chair and let's go ahead and start pedaling out our feet, okay? So I'm taking that heel bone off the ground and coming into those 2 points of balance. Actually, that whole ball of my foot here. And from here, my knees are getting real supple, okay? And I'm gonna let my hips get supple too, right? And let them come into it. This is the trick when you're learning certain dance steps like salsa, merengue, cha-cha, okay? Is to get that heel lifted, get the knees bent, and get your hips moving. Now, look. That hip movement from my feet starting to come up into my core area, right? Right across here, right across these transverse abdominals and into my obliques. And let my chest go. And let my shoulders go. And let my head go, okay? So just do this a few more times, just loosening up the body, okay? And you can let that head get as wild or crazy as you want, but still stay in control. And then let's just start to slow that down, just like we sped it up. Just our knees going. And feet plant. Again, just take a look down. Make sure you're still staying pretty parallel here. And then let's go ahead and keep one hand down. That's my right hand. I'm going to lift the other one up. Fingers towards the sky. And when we're sitting in our chair, we'll often take that hand and slide down the chair leg. Here, we're just going to press downward, not inward, on that chair. And come on over into a half moon pose here. Ardha Chandrasana. I'm going to take my shoulder back just a bit and really feel the depth of that opening all the way from my hip on through my fingers. I'm going to press down more into that outside foot, okay? Same foot as the arm that's bending over. Press down a little more. I'm going to feel that even more. And then I'm going to inhale, bring myself up, stretch to the ceiling. And exhale. I'm going to take that hand down. I'm going to let it come in contact with the other chair, the top of that chair. And again, all my pressure is down, not inward, okay? Then I'm going to lift the other arm up, fingers towards the ceiling, really lengthening the side body there. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. With an in-breath. And come on over. See if you can take that right hip of mine, at least, towards the right top part of that other chair. I'm going to let my shoulder pull back. If this is a lot on your shoulders, okay, come into a cactus arm here. All right, so please take the modifications that you feel you need, keeping those knees again supple. All right, strong, right, with your muscles surrounding the kneecap, but not locked. All right, have that little bend still. Make sure we're focused on the energy in our feet, pressing down maybe a little bit more into that outside foot, the foot where the arm is stretching over. Take a nice inhale, exhale, come a little lower. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, that hand comes down. Walk that out again. Make sure that you're not locking knees. Keep them supple. And now we're going to take that with breath in a more vinyasa style of flowing. Inhale. Exhale. Rise up on your in-breath. Exhale down. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more sets. Check in with your knees. Check in with your feet. 1 more set. This is slow. I know we're going to speed it up, but this is ever so good for you. Good things take time. Now, these following sets, we're going to double time that, okay? So we're going to first make sure knees are nice and supple. Inhale, all the way over. Exhale, down. Inhale, exhale. Bring it down. Inhale, lift. Take it over, exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, take it over. Exhale, take it down. Inhale, take it over. Exhale, take it down. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale. I think I got that now. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more set. Good. And let's, again, take our heels off the ground and come into those little steps. Now, we're going to plant energy, strength into our right leg, keeping hands on the chair. Lift my left foot off the ground, bring it down. Remember those springs that we did last week where we spring off of our heel, follow the foot, boom, spring up, and then the heel comes down, follow the foot comes down, follow the foot, heel, okay? And just keep kind of bringing your foot up and see how high it wants to go or how low it wants to be, all right? Just taking it up, feeling that here in your hip flexor, okay? 2 more. There you go. And then planting there, again, making sure our knees are nicely supple, yet strong muscles around there, okay? And now I'm going to plant into my left foot. Hands are downward on the chair, and I don't have a lot of weight, but you might need more depending on your balance. And then I'm going to flip that foot up, take it down, flip it up, and take it down. And notice when I do this, I'm working that ankle, okay? Working the ankle. And if you're getting tired standing, you can certainly sit and do these as well, okay? But I just think that, you know, a standing a bit here with that support of the chairs is a variable, something that we can do that's a little different and something that will just keep us focused again on a different kind of posture, okay? How about 2 more? Good. And then walking those legs out, right? Now, weight on my right foot, hands on the chair, lifting up my left foot. I'm going to go ahead and take some circles. And I'm feeling quite supported here with those 2 chairs, okay? I'm going to reverse. Good. I'm going to place that down. I'm going to take weight into my left foot now, okay? Bring my other foot up to whatever level and find those circles. When we were doing the flexing up and down, we were getting the flexion and extension there. And go ahead and reverse. Now we're getting into all the edges of this joint. Okay, this important joint that keeps us walking and upright. Okay, and our feet focused on each step, right? So we want to be injury free. No, we want to remain away from the ground unless we consciously want to place ourselves on the ground, okay? And so now what we're going to do, weight again is on my right foot. I'm going to pick up my left foot and I'm going to take a few little circles here, getting into my hip now. I've pointed my foot for this round of going. I'm going outward. You may have started going inward, and that's okay. Again, we're working into all this area and back into the glute. And now I'm going to reverse that. And now I'm going to flex my foot, okay, just to change it up. You can do whatever feels right for you. And taking that around. And taking it up and placing it down. Should be feeling that here in the leg, okay? Again, checking out feet, knees, and taking weight into my left foot. Lift up my right, and let's go ahead and take that circle there. I think we did the circles of our ankle on this foot. Yes, I believe we did. And I've got my foot pointing. And I'm breathing. Okay, real important to breathe here. And then let's reverse that. And these may be really tiny, okay? And that's all right, wherever your body is allowing you to go, all right? That's what the asana wants you to do. It doesn't want to push you out of the limits of what's right for you. And I was supposed to be flexing that foot. If I was going to get the same kind, and notice the difference when you flex. I feel it deeper into my hip. So now I'm going to place that foot down and kind of walk it out and maybe jog it out a bit. All right, now what I'm going to do, placing weight on my right foot, I'm going to pick up my left and I'm going to take it so my knee comes in contact with the back of the one chair. I'm going to take it forward and I'm going to take it across so that it comes in contact with the other chair, all right? Maybe, or at least we're coming across our body in this inward rotation. Coming back, place that foot down. Take weight. Come on up, come in, and again, pointed or flexed, take it across. Come back and down. You guys got that? Lifting and take it in. So external rotation, internal rotation, okay? But we have these chairs to kind of monitor our movement here. So whichever way you decide, they're gonna go inward or outward first. You're gonna flex or point. Should be feeling this in the core as well. Lifting. Crossing over, and these can be really small, you guys, okay? Real small. Or you can really take it up and trying to reach for that opposite chair. Now this time, let's leave it up instead of flipping back and forth and going back, left and right, external, internal, when we're here, okay? Getting a lot out of it, no matter where your lift is, okay? And here I am feeling this in my core. One more time, and I'm gonna place that foot down. And now I'm gonna go back and forth with this foot. Before we're just doing one at a time. If you prefer that, please go back to that. Or you might be saying, this is all for me. I'm sitting back down. So just bring your knee back and forth, okay? I'm gonna lift up here, and I'm gonna start to take that foot, pinky out of the way, back and forth, left and right, internally and externally rotating, adducting and abducting. There's all kinds of ways to describe this movement we're doing here. Foot is flexed or pointed, stay active, can stay low, okay? Just be moving. Getting that synovial fluid into our joint there. And placing that foot down. Great. All right, now let's go ahead and separate our feet a bit. Take the chairs out a little bit more so that your hands can still be on the chair, okay? And my feet are out and my heels are in. And I'm gonna come and lift up off of the right heel and then place it down. I'm gonna come and lift off the left heel, place it down, and just keep going back and forth, okay? Still staying planted with heels, with balls of the feet on the ground, the heels lifting up, okay? And just settling into my breath, checking out this position that now I've changed into with my legs open a little bit more. And one more time each side. Good. And then from here, we're going to maybe extend out a little more to see where you're feeling it. And we're going to come into just gentle little pulses. Okay, we're not coming down real far. And your knees should be out, your toes are out, and you're just coming into pulsing. You can lower it down, keep it really, really just minuscule in your pulsing. Should be feeling this in that internal area of your thighs, in that groin area a bit. Keeping the rest of our body nice and stacked, okay? And breathing. Good. And then straightening your legs. And from here, I'm going to take circles with my hips. And I'm holding onto the chair, okay, for support. I know some of us that might have some balance things. It's nice to know that those chairs are there for us. Let's reverse those circles. This isn't something we can do seated in the chair. We can't get as deep into it. We can do circles from here up, but we really aren't able to get here because our glutes are attached to the chair, okay? Now from here, we're gonna do something a little more fancy with our hips. We're gonna make figure eights. So I'm gonna come around one way, and then I'm gonna come back the other. Come around one way, bring it forward, and back and the other, okay? So figure eights here. I know it's a little of a coordination challenge here. And if you need to bend into your knee a little bit to take the hip in the way that you want it to go, if you feel too restricted with your straight legs, feel free to bend in and really get your hips moving. And now, see if you can reverse that circle of those figure eights, that sign of infinity here. And you're thinking, wow, this might be the sign of infinity, but I don't want to do this forever. So let's just do two more of these nice coordinated hip movements. And then coming back with our feet straight and our legs straight back into Tadasana here. I'm gonna let my hands come down, and if that's a little unstable for you, can keep one arm here on the chair. We're gonna work the opposite shoulder. We're just gonna take that around, inhale it up, exhale it down. Remember, supple knees, okay? Exhaling, one more time this direction. And then let's take it around. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. One more time. And let's do total hands here. Or you can let both hands down, depending on, again, your sense of security that you would like to have. And let's go ahead and take circles with this elbow and shoulder. This one seems a little bit more uncoordinated for me for some reason. I don't know why. Going back, up, and down, forward. Reverse that. Take in with breath. One more circle. And release. Good. All right. Now let's change up these chairs. I'm going to take one chair with the low part towards me and the other chair with the high part towards me. Okay. I'm going to come and face the higher part of the chair. Hips are close to that chair. And I'm going to bend into my left leg and just place that foot right on top of the chair. Okay. And see how that feels. We want to try to start getting a little bit of a stretch here in our quadricep area. And this may be all you need and want. Remember keeping the other knee, even though that leg is nice and strong, but the knee has a little flexion in it. And I want to flex into it a little bit more, okay? That flex, I'm gonna bend into it a little bit more. So I didn't mean flexion, I meant relax. So let it come down, and I'm gonna feel that in my quadricep of the standing leg. And I'm gonna rise up, come down, rise up. Maybe this is again, just a half inch. Maybe it's enough just to stay here, okay? And remember, our weight, if any, is just downward on that chair, okay? Now for some of you, you might want to go farther, and I'm just going to show you what that would entail. That would entail taking your knee to that chair and your foot to the top, the back of the chair. Really get the stretch here. That won't be for many of us, but that's just an option, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and place that foot down, walk out my legs, take the other foot up behind me, and just start to feel the drop of that right knee straight down from my hip, foot coming right back straight from my knee, okay? And I'm upright here, really feeling balanced, staying right here, getting a quadricep stretch, or beginning to take a little bend into that standing leg, okay? Just pulsing there. Maybe it's just minuscule. Maybe stay just straight, please. Find what works for you. Those of you that want to extend that leg and bring the knee to the chair behind you with the toes up, resting on the back seat. You've got that kind of flexibility in your quadricep and you have your balance, then please go ahead and do that. Want to always offer all those ends of the spectrum, okay? And then coming back and bringing my other foot down and just walking it out here. And then I'm going to bring this chair close to the other one because I'm going to spread my feet apart, right? And I'm going to squat down, sit into that chair. Okay, but I've got this other chair helping and supporting me here. Okay, so my toes are out, my heels are in, and finally, I'm seated in the chair. This was supposed to be a chair class. We're using chair, right? I'm gonna push down, not pull. Push down here, push into my feet, lift myself up, inhale. Exhale, slowly come down, and maybe my hands need to come to the sides of the back of my chair, keeping my back nice and flat and straight, okay? Flat's not the word, but straight, and taking my weight into my feet, hands onto the top of the chair, lift myself straight out of that chair, okay? Bring myself back down, sit in the chair. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come down. Slowly, right? Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lift. This time, exhale and hover. Hover over that chair, okay? Trying not to sit down in it yet, but staying in this kind of squatted position that we would do for goddess pose. Feel it in your legs. I'm already feeling my legs just from what we've done today. And now I'm gonna go ahead and slowly, how slow can you let yourself sit in that chair? That feels good. And then I'm gonna walk my feet forward. And I'm gonna take the chair out just a little bit more here, okay? Hands are flat on the top of that chair. And I'm going to come up and down from the chair with my knees and my feet forward instead of out like this, okay? So now they're more in a neutral position. I'm really gonna push that chair away from me, right? Push it away, because again, I'm not pulling it. Push it away, press down into my feet, bring my torso forward. And then when I feel like I can stand without pulling the chair back, go ahead and lift yourself up, okay? And then slowly take yourself down. I'm kind of using that other chair, squeezing in on it, making sure I found my chair, okay? So go ahead, take yourself up, take yourself down. Bring yourself up and take yourself down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, plop. Try not to be plop, but I know I am a little bit. Inhale up and exhale, slow, 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 slow. And here we are. Good. Let's stay seated in this chair. Turn the other one around, okay? And let's use blocks and put them on either side of the chair that's in front of you, okay? And scoot in a little bit. Find yourself rising up here, inhale. And then exhale, come either into forearm, right forearm on your top of your right thigh, or take your hand down to the block that's on the inside of your right foot and right shin. And I'm going to stretch out. We got a good stretch on the side body earlier. We're getting another one here. And if I want, I'm gonna go ahead and lean over into that, a little more into the right here, pressing down into the block or into my forearm there. And then inhale, lifting myself up from forearm or block and letting my left hand come down, checking into my posture, making sure I'm nice and aligned here, having my legs maintain their outward position, abducting here, and then I'm going to forearm here, other arm lifts, or hand on block, okay? I want you to be supported somewhere, so see where that's going to be for you. Fingers stretch up high. Then maybe they come over to really open up in that side body. Inhale, rise up. Take that arm down. Good. Now, if you use blocks, take them to the outside of your foot so you can see the difference. If you stayed on your forearm, then stay on your forearm for this, all right? Left arm rises, come to forearm, or come to the block on the outside of your foot now. Press down. For me, I have a better attachment with the block, with it being on the outside of my foot. My fingers really rise up high, and then I take my left arm over towards my left ear. Breathing here. Inhale, lifting up from forearm or block. Find myself in my neutral position here. And then I'm going to come back, forearm or block on the outside of the foot. Other arm reaches up, lifts up, look up. Or looking forward or looking down. Check into your neck and see what it wants to do today, okay? If you like, extend that angle by taking your hand over to the left more, bicep by your ear, shoulders stacking, trying to stay on your sits bones so we're not letting too far over and out of your chair. You finally got to sit in the chair, so you might as well stay there connected, right? As much as you can. Right arm lifts, pulling in right here, making sure I'm nice and strong. And then both hands come down. And then I'm just going to shift my body left and right just a bit here. Almost finished with this second chair. And then I'm going to go ahead and take two fists or take my block, and I'm going to find my forehead on that second chair. Extending my back so it is nice and parallel to the ground. Knowing that I have different heights of that block and you don't have a block, this is what we do. Two hands stacked on top of one another in fists. And I place my third eye right there. Okay. So coming in to this peaceful warrior here. Being thankful that we have our bodies that are able to express themselves in the way that we have so far today. We still have more, but we've tried something different and we're feeling that a lot in our legs. Maybe more than when we do a regular chair practice because we did a lot of standing. 2 more breaths here. Good. And then go ahead and rise up out of that. And you can press that second chair away. And I'm going to turn towards you, keeping blocks handy here. But turning my chair towards you so that we can come into what we considered more of a regular chair yoga practice. And so I'm going to sit here and I'm going to sit up. I'm going to have my feet flat on the ground. So wherever you need to associate your hips and your glutes and your sits bones on that chair. So your feet can be nice and flat so that we can come in that Tadasana of that seated pose. And we're checking out, okay? Do we have our heel bone pressing in the ground and the 2 points at the base of our big toe and our little toe? Our toes are assisting here, even though we don't need as much balance because we're seated in the chair, but we want to have good alignment no matter what. So we have ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, ears, trapezius, okay? And that's how we find ourselves in this good seated position here. From here, we're going to do some more hip opening, and that will be with our pigeon pose. So I'm going to pull up a little bit more here. I'm going to lift one leg up. If it does not come up all the way, all I want to make sure I'm doing is externally rotating. So at any point here, you could also use a block and rest that foot on a block, okay? And that will also alleviate you having to press that foot into another part of your anatomy. Okay, or we're up here, and this may or may not be available to you guys, but wherever you are, you should be feeling something right in this back part of your hip. I'm going to sit up really straight and tall here, just feeling what that's like wherever my ankle and my knee and my bent leg find themselves. If I flex, I'm going to feel more into this area, and that's what this pigeon pose is all about. And from here, I'm going to take a twist. So I'm going to take my left hand to my upper right knee here, my right knee, and my hand behind me, stay nice and tall. I'm going to go ahead and twist over, back, my right shoulder, keeping my foot flexed, keeping my leg in that position, whichever I found. And then slowly turning myself back around. Now I'm going to take my right hand to my right ankle, my foot, shin, wherever you can. And again, you might be lower. And if so, just use that other knee that's not bent, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and start making that twist coming back around. Did not do any twists in our earlier part of the class. So we want to make sure we get some of those in today. And we did a little bit when we did that side bending, but this really is more of a twist. And then we begin to release ourselves forward here. And keeping ourselves with that crossed foot, I'm going to bring my weight forward. If I have blocks available, I may take those and let my weight come onto the block, right? Or if I don't, I can hang. But having those blocks are, again, just a way to measure your depth. And then I'm going to go ahead and tuck in here, letting my chin come to my chest and just letting my body weight come forward. And this will intensify that sensation in your outer hip. So only do it if you want more of that sensation. If you've had it, don't go here, okay? Just stay with your body weight, not forward, but maintaining it back or more in a neutral position. And I'm gonna lift up and take myself up and undo that leg, right? And just kind of move around a bit, feeling the difference between one hip and the other right now. And now I'm going to take and plant this foot, making sure everything's in alignment. It's my right foot, my left is lifting here with a flexion, or it's here, 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 or I find it on a block, okay? But I want that external rotation, right? So that you can start to feel into that back hip. So find where you are, where your joints are allowing you to go today. Stay on your chair, don't walk yourself off of there. And I'm flexing into my foot, wherever it is. I'm holding on to my leg, or maybe just to the knee that's bent and foot on the ground if the other one's lower and you hard to hold on to that, okay? Let's see what your body's allowing yourself to do right now. I'm going to take a few breaths here, just again to remind myself of just how good pigeon feels. And there's so many ways to do pigeon. This is a good one to do when you wake up in the morning and you bend one knee, foot on the bed, and take the other one and make a figure 4, all right? So that you can do that in a reclined position. Build up pillows behind you. It can be semi-reclined. You can do it if you want to on the mat with your leg coming forward, but generally we don't do things like that in this particular class. So let's go ahead and let's take my right hand to my left knee, left hand behind me, really lengthen my spine and let me go ahead into that twist. And I'm feeling that even more in that outside hip. Breathing away here. Feels good. Coming back forward, lengthening my spine. And then I'm going to take my left hand somewhere on my left leg or foot, right hand behind me, lengthen and come on back around. Push down with one hand, lengthen through the crown of my head as I take that twist and look over my right shoulder. And then I start to release myself slowly back around here. Sitting up straight and tall, beginning to lean my body forward if that feels right for you. Right? And you can stay at any point, holding on to any part of your leg. If you want, you can release all that body weight forward and just hang here. Okay, let your chin come to your chest. Yes, I feel that. You can have blocks to kind of support that. You don't want to just hang in it. I'm keeping my foot flexed to intensify that feeling, but you can also point. It will still intensify it, but you can let it drop and just relax, and you're still going to feel it. It's really hard to get out of it in this position. So some way or other, you're going to have that sensation. More so if you flex a point to stay active in your foot. Let's just say hi to me in 10 minutes. And then I'm going to lift my head up. And I'm going to walk my blocks back and lift myself all the way up. Just feel this sensation for another couple breaths. And then releasing, oh yeah, releasing that leg down. And we're going to do a nice warrior 1 position here. That's the one where our shoulders are forward, our hips are forward, and our arms are overhead, okay? So I'm gonna take one foot, one knee, and take it outward. And this is where you have all kinds of options with this back leg. You can just leave it here if you like. You can bend that knee down, and that gets a little bit more into what a warrior two may resemble. And, or you can take that onto the block, which feels pretty supportive there. If you want, you can also extend that leg back and stretch it out and feel that here in the glute. And I've got my foot kind of at an angle. So it's a 45-degree. So I don't have the toes directly towards you. I don't have them all the way towards me. They're somewhere between. And then I take those hips, take my shoulders, I face them forward over that bent knee, front bent knee. The other one might be bent if you've chosen to go there. I lift one arm up. My other hand's going to stay on my thigh for now, okay? So I'm lifting really high here, pressing down into either my shin that's on the block or my foot that's on the ground behind me, okay? Inhale, lift. Exhale, I'm gonna take it over to the right just a bit, bring it up, inhale, and then take it over to the left just a bit here, not much. Bring it back. This hand comes down, it crosses over to my right thigh, the other arm comes up. Take it over to the right with my oblique strength, okay? Lifting up, take it on over to the left. Lift it up. And then let the left arm join the right, fingers extended up, finding ourselves in this beautiful expression of warrior one. My hands come down behind me. I interlace my fingers and I squeeze and maybe lift a little bit, or if that's a lot, I just open up my hands and put them on the back of my hips, or maybe onto the side of my hips. Find what works for you. And open up through your chest and your heart here. Haven't done a lot of this today, so let's make sure we get that in. Looking up, squeezing shoulders. And then bringing my torso up, releasing both arms, send them up. Let's end with the normal or traditional warrior one here. Arms up, biceps by your ears, gaze drishti forward. And then exhale, hands come down. Good. All right, let's go ahead and take it over to the other side. Kind of left this really stronger pose to the end here, although I think we've already done a few things that have challenged us a bit. At least I felt challenged. And so I'm going to come on over now. My left leg is going to come over to the left. My right is going to either be, remember here, you can just stay right here. You can let that knee just drop. If you have a block, you use it under your shin and line up hip and knee, okay? Or you extend that leg back. And it's back, but it's also at the side, okay? So I've got some distance between my feet in the width and in the length if I've extended my leg. And again, don't want to hyper extend that knee. We keep a little bend. We take and protect it with engaging those muscles around the knee. I'm going to go ahead and take my energy into the foot, especially the outside part of the foot, turning my hips forward, shoulders forward, releasing. Let one hand, my left hand, stay on my thigh. Let my right hand come up, fingers reaching towards the sky. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, I'm going to take it a little bit over to the left, depending on my obliques to take me there and to bring me up and to take me over in the opposite direction. Inhale, lift. And let's do that one more time. I don't know if we did 2 times on the other side. Don't think we did, but we're going to do 2 times over here. Lengthen, take it over. Bring myself back. Exhale, that hand comes down and crosses over to my left thigh. My left arm rises up. Feet are nicely planted. Exhale over to one side. Inhale, lift. Exhale over to the other side, suspending ourselves here. Inhale up. Might as well do 2 times on this side. I think we only did 1 on the other, but exhale over. So if you guys are walking around uneven today, you can blame me. Come on over. Bring yourself up. And exhale, hand comes down. Both hands lift up. Inhale. Pressing into our feet, finding this nice expression of warrior 1. Shoulders pull down. Fingers open up. I'm going to take my hands behind me, but remember, if that's not something your shoulders want to do by interlacing and squeezing shoulder blades together, hands open at the base of the back of your hips or on the side, okay? So find what works for you. You guys are really good at doing that, right? And so we squeeze shoulders, and then let's open up our heart, open up our heart chakra, our throat chakra, yes. And bringing myself up. Releasing my hands, both arms up. Find this expression one more time. Solid in my feet, solid in my core, my arm strength, my leg strength. Everything engaged here. Inhale. And exhale, take hands down. And let's go ahead and find ourselves reconnected in the front. And let's take ourselves all the way back into our chair, okay? And let's let our backs come in contact with the chair. I know a lot of times we say, let's stay away from that chair so that you are not quite a sweat, but some heat today, so that your shoulders may attach to the chair, depending on how high your chair is. As much of your core, not your core, but your back is engaged, and actually part of your core wraps around back here, okay? These transverse abdominals come right back here. So we want to press those in as well. And your kidney area, let that feel into the back of your chair, your adrenals. When you're like this, unless you have really, really long anatomy between knee and feet, your feet are probably going like this. So I'm going to go ahead and lift them, heels up onto the front legs of my chair, or I can wrap them around. I want to do something with them. I don't want to just dangle, right? And I'm going to press in and contract this transverse abdominal so that I'm pressing into the back of the chair with my lumbar spine. Okay, that's really the only thing that's activated right now. From here, just take a bow with your chin. Exhale. Bring your chin up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Take it back down and then exhale. And bring it on down. And take it on down. And 2 more, please. And then bringing your chin back into neutral. We're going to try a breath here that's a little bit different. It's not that different, but we're just going to experiment with it. And we're going to breathe in through our nose, all right? 3, 4, 5 counts, whatever that might be. when you breathe out, I want you to breathe through your mouth, but like you're breathing out through a cocktail straw, one of those really skinny straws. So that's going to really extend your breath. I want you to feel what happens right here in the sides, these transverse abdominal I was talking about, how they're going to contract in as you continue that really slow releasing of your breath. I'm just going to do a few of these. Inhale through your nose. Begin that slow release through the straw. Keep going. Go till you can't let any more out. And you should have felt that all in through here. So let's do 2 more. And I'm not going to talk because then I'm not able to maintain that exhale. Inhale through your nose and then exhale through the straw. Okay. If you finish before me, just go back into breathing normal. Notice, if you will, how that really brought in the energy across your abs here. Okay, so try that. It's also a really cooling breath. It's also a breath that, I'm going to go ahead and move back up towards the front of the chair. That's a breath that will help to calm you as well, cooling and calming. All right. So, well, thank you. I hope you stayed with me through this hour. I know it's not the same that I'm right there with you because I know what it's like to do the classes that I do online and the difference between it being live and not. But I hope you stayed with me. I hope you tried something new and different. And thank you so much. I love you guys, and I always miss you when I'm not able to have that interaction with you. But hasta la próxima. All right. Take care from my heart to yours. Namaste. Be good to yourselves. Bye. Inky says goodbye too. Come on, Inky. You want to say goodbye? You want to say goodbye? Yeah. Okay. Good. That's good. Yes. All right. See you guys. How do I end this thing? Boop, boop, boop.